The permission. Call Me By Your Name is already intoxicating on its own, but this kiss is the moment everything changes from subtext to reality. Elio and Oliver have spent weeks circling each other, playing games, testing boundaries, pretending the tension between them doesn't exist. Every conversation has a double meaning. Every touch lingers just a second too long. They're both terrified of making the first move and destroying whatever this thing between them is. Then they take a day trip to visit war monuments in the Italian countryside. Away from the house, away from Elio's parents, away from the expectations and the watching eyes. Oliver initiates it. They kiss, and you can feel years of restraint shattering in that single moment. It's desperate, hungry, like they've both been holding their breath underwater and finally came up for air. But here's what makes this kiss the turning point. Before this moment, they could still pretend. They could still tell themselves it was just friendship, just admiration, just summer boredom. The kiss destroys that safety. There's no going back to ambiguity. After this, they stop playing games. They stop dancing around each other with coded language and plausible deniability. The relationship shifts from this undefined thing with undertones into something explicit and undeniable. The proof. 4 years have passed since that summer on Brokeback Mountain. Ennis and Jack have been living separate lives, both married to women, both pretending that summer was just a phase that didn't mean anything real. Jack drives hundreds of miles to Wyoming to visit Ennis. His truck pulls up outside the apartment building. Ennis is supposed to stay calm, act normal, treat this like a casual reunion between old friends. He can't. The second he sees Jack, he rushes down the stairs. They grab each other and kiss with this violent desperation. Four years of repression and longing explode in that single moment. But here's the devastating part that changes everything. Alma, Ennis's wife, is standing at the window upstairs watching. She sees the entire thing. Her face tells you she understands exactly what her husband is and what these fishing trips have really been about. This kiss proves that Brokeback wasn't an isolated incident. It wasn't experimentation or something they could leave in the past. This thing between them has been eating them alive for 4 years. After this reunion, their relationship becomes a pattern. Secret meetups disguised as fishing trips where they can pretend to be themselves before returning to their lies. But the kiss also plants the seed of destruction in Ennis's marriage. Alma never confronts him, but the knowledge sits between them, poisoning everything. The promise. Moonlight tells Chiron's story across 3 stages of his life, and this beach scene is where everything breaks open. Chiron and Kevin are childhood friends who've always had this unspoken connection. They're sitting by the ocean late at night, smoking, talking about nothing that matters and everything that matters. Kevin starts touching Chiron's shoulder, testing if this is okay. Then they kiss. It's Chiron's first kiss, his first intimate moment with another person ever. The way Barry Jenkins shoots this with the moonlight reflecting on water is absolutely beautiful. It's tender and careful and feels like a promise of what life could be. But here's where it gets tragic. The kiss changes everything because the next day at school, Kevin is cornered by other guys. They pressure him to prove his masculinity, to show he's not soft, and they choose Chiron as the target. Kevin beats him up in front of everyone.
Yeah. You like that, Charo?
That betrayal destroys Chiron completely. The person he trusted most hurt him to save himself. Chiron never forgives it. He hardens himself into someone unrecognizable. He builds walls so thick that nobody can ever reach him again. Years later, when they reconnect as adults, that beach kiss is still between them, like a ghost. It represents this brief moment of possibility before the world crushed it. The kiss changes their relationship permanently because it shows them what they could have been in a different world. The declaration. Love, Simon, is built around this central mystery. Simon has been anonymously messaging someone from his school named Blue for months. They've fallen for each other through words alone, sharing secrets without ever meeting face to face. Simon has been through absolute hell. He was blackmailed, outed to the whole school against his will, lost friends, watched his private life become public gossip. Through all of it, Blue stayed silent. Simon started to think maybe this whole thing was just another cruel joke. Then, at the school carnival, Blue finally reveals himself.
Can I sit there? I was kind of waiting for somebody.
It's Bram. He's been terrified to come forward because watching what happened to Simon made him realize how dangerous visibility can be. But he's here now, no more hiding. They're on the Ferris wheel, rising above the carnival, and they kiss at the top while everyone below cheers them on. The whole school is watching and supporting them. This kiss changes everything because it takes Simon's story from private humiliation to public celebration. He was outed as a spectacle, stripped of control. This kiss is him reclaiming it. He's choosing to be visible now, on his own terms, with someone who chose him back. What made this revolutionary in 2018 was that it gave young gay kids this fairy tale moment. For decades, gay stories ended in tragedy. This kiss says you can have the rom-com ending too. The complication. Weekend starts like 100 other gay films. Russell meets Glenn at a club. They hook up. It's supposed to be nothing. One night, no complications, no feelings. But the next morning, they're still together. Glenn is doing this art project where he records people talking about their sexual experiences. What starts as a casual interview becomes this incredibly intimate conversation about loneliness and desire and shame.
And then you kissed me in the hallway.
And I grabbed you.
Did you?
At some point during that morning, they kiss again. And this kiss is completely different from the drunken hookup. This one is sober and intentional and means something neither of them planned for. That kiss changes the entire trajectory. What was supposed to be casual becomes a weekend-long conversation that cracks both of them open. For Russell especially, this kiss is dangerous. He's built his entire life around not needing anyone. Casual hookups are safe because they don't require vulnerability. This kiss breaks through that defense. Glenn is running too. He's about to move to Portland, leaving everything behind. He treats relationships as temporary because that's easier than staying and risking getting hurt. But this kiss makes him question whether he's running away from exactly what he's been looking for. The morning kiss is the moment they both realize this one-night stand has become something they can't casually walk away from. The awakening. Shelter shows us Zach, a talented artist who's put his entire life on hold. He's raising his nephew because his sister is unreliable. He's working dead-end jobs because his family needs money. He's buried his dreams so deep he's forgotten he ever had them. Zach is also deeply closeted, not struggling with it, just completely shut down to that entire part of himself. Then Sean comes back to town, his best friend's older brother, and there's this instant connection. They start spending time together, and Sean sees Zach in a way nobody else does. They're hanging out at Sean's house, drinking, letting loose. They start play wrestling on the patio, this physical contact that feels safe because it's framed as just guys messing around. They're laughing, pushing each other, and then suddenly the energy shifts.
Ow! Oh, ow! Ow! Adam's apple.
Sean kisses him. The playfulness stops instantly. Zach freezes. It's his first kiss with a man, and you see everything click into place in that moment. This is what he's been avoiding, what he's been too scared to even consider. And now that it's happening, he can't pretend anymore. This kiss changes their relationship from friendship to something much more complicated, but it also changes Zach's relationship with himself. He can't go back to not knowing this about who he is. What follows is Zach spiraling, not because being gay is wrong, but because admitting it means everything in his carefully balanced life gets disrupted. His family, his responsibilities, his identity, all of it has to be renegotiated. Trevor Wright plays Zach's reaction perfectly. The shock, the confusion, the desire he didn't know he could feel. The outdoor setting matters too. They're outside, exposed, vulnerable. The kiss happens in broad daylight where anyone could see, which makes it feel even more real and undeniable. The surrender. God's Own Country gives us Johnny, working on his family's failing farm in Yorkshire. He's angry, self-destructive, using alcohol and anonymous hookups to numb himself. He hates his life, hates the farm, hates himself most of all. Then Georgi arrives from Romania to work the season. Johnny treats him terribly at first because Georgi represents something Johnny can't face. The tension builds for days. They work together, always this charge between them. Johnny keeps pushing him away while simultaneously being drawn to him. Then there's this scene in the bathroom. Georgi follows him in. The space is small, intimate, nowhere to run. Georgi kisses him and Johnny doesn't pull away. It's rough at first because that's the only way Johnny knows how to be. But underneath, there's this desperate need for connection. This kiss changes their relationship because it's the first time Johnny lets himself be vulnerable. He stops running, stops hiding behind anger. After this moment, he starts opening up to Giori in ways he never has with anyone. The bathroom setting is claustrophobic and intimate, forcing Johnny to confront what he feels. After this kiss, Johnny begins to change. He learns to care for someone else, learns that vulnerability isn't weakness. The Choice. The Way He Looks is this beautiful Brazilian film about Leonardo, a blind teenager who's been sheltered his entire life. His mother is overprotective and everyone makes decisions for him because they assume he can't handle things on his own. Leonardo is desperate for independence. Then Gabriel becomes his friend, and slowly that friendship develops into something more. Leonardo has been realizing his feelings, but he doesn't know if Gabriel feels the same way. He can't see Gabriel's face, can't read the visual cues. Then they're alone together, and Gabriel finally makes his move. But here's what's crucial. Gabriel asks permission. He asks if he can kiss Leonardo. Leonardo says yes. They share this gentle, sweet first kiss. What makes this kiss transformative isn't just the romance. It's what it represents about Leonardo's autonomy. His entire life, people have made decisions for him because of his disability. This kiss is Leonardo's choice. Nobody is protecting him from it. He's choosing this for himself, asserting his right to have experiences. After this kiss, Leonardo becomes more confident in demanding independence in other areas too. He pushes back against his mother's overprotection. The kiss gives him evidence that he's capable of making his own decisions and handling the consequences. The visibility. Pride is based on the true story of LGBTQ activists in 1980s Britain who supported striking Welsh miners. It's 1984, the AIDS crisis is devastating the gay community, and being openly gay is incredibly dangerous. When the activist group travels to the Welsh mining village, there's tension. The miners are conservative, traditional, unsure about these city gays showing up. There's a scene at the community hall where Gethin dances with his partner, in front of everyone. They kiss publicly and unapologetically.
We will wear yours. Shoulder to shoulder.
It's not a long kiss, not dramatic. But in that context, in that time and place, it's revolutionary. This kiss changes the relationship between the activists and the miners. Some are uncomfortable, but they're also seeing, maybe for the first time, that gay people aren't abstract concepts. They're real people who love each other, who show up for their communities. The kiss is also Gethin refusing to hide. After decades of being forced into shadows, he's choosing visibility. By the end of the film, when the miners show up to march in the London Pride Parade, it's because relationships have been built. The kiss was part of that bridge. The historical context makes this even more significant. This actually happened. The release. Closet Monster uses magical realism to tell Oscar's story. He's a teenager dealing with severe trauma. When he was a child, he witnessed a horrific homophobic hate crime, and that trauma got buried deep inside him. Oscar knows he's gay, but he's absolutely terrified of what that means. The violence he witnessed taught him that being gay gets you hurt. He meets Wilder at his summer job, and the attraction is undeniable, but Oscar is paralyzed by fear. Throughout the film, Oscar sabotages opportunities for connection. He pushes Wilder away, makes excuses, runs whenever things get too real. Then finally, they kiss. And in that moment, something breaks open inside Oscar. All the fear and shame and repression comes crashing down. This kiss changes Oscar's relationship with himself more than his relationship with Wilder. It's proof that he can want this, can have this, without the world ending. After the kiss, Oscar has to deal with the fallout. His relationship with his father deteriorates. His repressed trauma surfaces. But through all of it, that kiss represents a choice to live authentically, even when it's terrifying. The film doesn't present being gay as the problem. It presents trauma and homophobia as the problems. The kiss is Oscar reclaiming his right to love despite the violence. The escape. Beautiful Thing is set in a working-class London housing estate where being different is dangerous. Jamie is a sensitive kid who gets bullied at school. State lives next door with an abusive father and brother who beat him regularly. One night, after a particularly bad beating, Steve stays at Jamie's flat. They're in Jamie's room, and for the first time, both of them feel safe. The walls are thin, the estate is rough, but in that small room, they can breathe. They kiss, and it's this moment of tenderness in the middle of so much violence and hardship. This kiss changes everything because it gives them both hope that life doesn't have to be just survival. They can have softness, they can have love, they can have each other. What's beautiful about this film is how it shows queer joy in the middle of difficult circumstances. The kiss isn't the end of their problems, but it's proof that happiness is possible even when the world around you is hard. The understanding. In this Irish boarding school where rugby is everything, Ned and Connor are unlikely roommates who become close friends. There's this charged moment between them where it seems like they might kiss, where the tension is undeniable. Whether they actually kiss or just come close, that moment changes their relationship. It brings their feelings into the open. Connor is struggling with his sexuality in this hyper-masculine environment where any expression of queerness feels dangerous. This intimate moment with Ned represents safety and acceptance. After this, their friendship deepens into something more profound. They become each other's support system in a hostile environment. The film handles this with sensitivity, showing how important it is to have someone who sees you when everyone else is trying to force you into a box. That moment is about finding connection in isolation. Which kiss scene resonated with you most? Which relationship change felt most real? Drop your thoughts in the comments.